Yo, Huddled, what's up?
Hey, what's
What's
up?
up? Sending this.
Welcome to Andrew Can Do Podcast, episode one. We have two legends in the building. Huddled, man, we go way back. So lots of insight about mice. Obviously, lots of good aim. I know you guys all love them. Then of course we got Boardzy. Boardzy is one of those hungry reviewers that just reviews everything. Reminds me a lot of me when I used to review, except he actually kept his short. A lesson that I could have learned, but the great content and the the bad camera, we've all been there before. So lots of love. Um, yes, yes. We actually are going to be talking about a lot of different things. We're going to be talking about size, mouse grip, how shape really impacts how you feel about a mouse. We're going to be talking about what's new and what was old that worked for mice and pads, and just kind of where the state of the culture is. I mean, I'm a little bit more of a boomer. Um, I used to use the super shitty G700 back in the day, so we've came a long way. I can't tell you what my current main is, but the last main that I can talk about was definitely the Extra 5 M4, and then before that it was the Rocat KPU. Um, so yeah, let's go around the room. What mice are you guys using? What's your favorite mouse all time? Ergo and Ambi, and then what are you using right now?
All right, Board, do you want to answer first?
Okay, so right now I have the Hot ES and the G Wolves HSK on my desk. They're amazing fingertip mice.
Uh,
My favorite mouse of all time, probably the XM1. I've had it for like 8 months now, and it's just been like such a tank. And I think that's it. Yeah, I love G Wolves. Amazing.
Let's go. All right, so right now on my desk, I have my Hot ES as well as my XM1. The Hot ES is definitely my favorite mouse I've ever used for like fingertip and claw. It's a bit small though. The XM1 is also a really solid, well-built mouse. For ergo mice, I'd have to say my favorite ever ergo mouse I've used is probably the Skull Mini. I haven't used that many ergo mouse. I was looking at the new Cooler Master one. That one seems interesting, but I don't know. I've always aimed better with ambidextrous mice, and yeah, my favorite mouse of all time is probably the XM1. It's like really close to that Steel Series like Sensei like shape. And before I even
mm.
got into mice and all of that, I was using the DM1 Pro S back in like 2015, and I made that mouse for about like 2 years almost.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, so my
XM1, let's go.
my favorite all time Ergo. Ooh, that's a hard one. For Ambi, this is easy. For Ambi, it's a Logitech G303. That will always be my favorite ambidextrous mouse. I need another one badly. Um, Probably the most recent Ambi that I've used. Ooh, the most recent Ambi that I use. Oh no. Oh no. Probably one of the Vipers or something. For the Ergo mice, my all-time favorite right now, it might have to be the KPU. The KPU might be my favorite right now, all-time Ergo. It's definitely the one that I like using the most of all of them now. Even though I use the Extra 5 M4 just because it's a little bit bigger. What can I do to fix the delay on that? Hmm.
Wait, you have an
Yeah.
eye tracker on?
Yeah, I had the
You have an eye
eye.
tracker on your stream? What the heck?
Yeah.
Let's go. We got Cinedote in the chat. How's it going, Cinedote?
Yeah. Yeah,
80
we got
viewers.
here. What can we do about the? Yeah. Let me do this real quick. Let me do this for the see if this fixes the video. Let me find my face cam. Yeah. See if that cleans things up a bit. Uh yeah, the diabolical background. You know, if we can finish this by getting Boardzy and Huddled playing Diabolical, I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy. This game is literally perfection. Or can we get the boomers in the chat? Can we get the boomers in the chat going wild? Yeah. All right. I'd say what was probably the first games that got you really focusing on mice? I mean, we're talking about aiming games, shooters, PC shooters that made you realize you need a gaming mouse. For me, it was S4 League, and Korean FPS, and then following that up with Shoot Mania. That's when I really felt the need to really grind out the peripherals. If any of you know what Shoot Mania was, you are definitely a boomer. And if you know what S4 is, you're a boomer and you're also a weeb. That's that. But Boardzy, what games for you guys was it?
Well, when I started playing Minecraft, I had some crappy Logitech wireless mouse. I was playing survival games, PvPing against people. And I was like, why is my click speed so bad? And then so I went out, I bought a Razer Naga. That was like my first ever like really gaming mouse. So when I like the buttons on the side, I was like, no way, I can hotkey so fast. Now I got the numbers on the side of my mouse and click way faster with these crazy gaming switches. And after that, I started playing like Counter-Strike and stuff, and then I got into like the Zowie mice because I was like, what are all the pros using? And I just copied them basically. I had like a Zowie EC2 and then a GSR for a little while. And once I started like getting into like aim training and stuff like that is when I really started like beefing up my mouse collection though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, I haven't like been using mice for that long. So the first game that I really cared about was Fortnite, and I had a G Pro Hero, and I just hated the cable and the feet. So I just started looking for other mice, and then eventually I just developed a crippling mouse addiction. But I managed to cope with it by posting the reviews, and yeah, I just like after playing Fortnite, I started looking for better mice and bought all of them.
My collection went from like 2 to like 70 in the course of like 3 years. No, not even 2
Yeah,
years, a
I have
year.
about the same.
I like 2 to 3 to 70 in about a year and a half or two. Yeah. And it was mainly because I noticed the Rocket Jump Ninja reviews just weren't working for me. I started to realize that most of the mice that he didn't recommend were mice that I needed to be getting. And I kind of used the inverse theory for him. It worked well for me. Yeah, let's start talking about going into that shape and hand size. You know, for me, the reason why the mice that Rocket Jump Ninja didn't liked, and the ones that I liked, they didn't work. Rocket Jump Ninja, he's more of an F2. You know, he's more of an FK2 type of guy. He's more of an ambi guy. Notice with my massive hands, you know, I've got 22 by 11. I really needed a bigger, hardier mouse. And even still, there's other mice. You can still hold them in ways where it's fine. But I knew right off the bat I needed a mouse that just filled out my hand a little bit more. I really like that comfort. Which is why I lean more towards Ergo. I really like that flare on the right. That's usually a big thing for me. And that's why even in the ambidextrous mice that I get, like the G303 or the Razer Lancehead, I really like them. The Rival, I really like them based on that rear flare. So that's kind of what I always look for. And I also really like mice that are good for 131, even though I moved back to 122. I mean, there are some others that I kind of like here and there. But for me, it was always a hard thing finding mice that actually fit my hand. Pretty good.
Well, for me, honestly, I prefer mice that are like really small and easy to fingertip. I don't like think too much about like a shape filling out my hand since I just don't really need to. I'm kind of the opposite of you. I hate ergo mice. Like, I haven't, aside from the Skull Mini, which was like 45 grams, I don't think I've ever enjoyed an ergo mouse.
Aside from which
But
mouse?
the G-Wolf Skull Mini.
Hmm.
It's like 45 grams, like smaller in the EC2. But I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like Rocket Jump Ninja, he's pretty close-minded. He says that like lighter is always better, and you want like the smallest mouse for the best aim potential. And I feel like it's just kind of like outdated, if you get what I'm saying.
Nah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, and as a lot of people know, like my hands are super long, and yet I'm still able to use pretty small mice like the Hot ES, the Ultralight 2, and even the HSK and the Zonkanig mouse, which is like super tiny, the 20-gram carbon fiber mouse. And I'm just able to like basically claw it. I like mice that have like more of a taller hump that can like I can really claw and push back to like the back of my hand. That adds more stability for me when I'm trying to like stop on targets, I'd say, and for tracking as well. Makes my aim a bit smoother. But using a fingertip grip, like with the HSK and the Zonkanig, my aim was just like so fast. It was pretty crazy to see. And ergo mice, though, I haven't really enjoyed that many ergo mice. Like in the past, I used the EC2 and the Zowie.
Yeah.
But the Skull Mini is probably a lot better than those, for me at least.
And like, I don't know, my hands, I think we all have pretty big hands. Like mine are 20 by 11. And I still prefer like pretty small mice because, I mean, yeah, what grip do you use, Andy? Do you palm?
Yeah, I play with more of, I do more of a claw. I used palm for a good while, but palm worked, claw worked a lot better. Let me see if I can give a example. I really this more of like this type of grip now with 122. So I have like my pinky almost upside down on the back side of the mouse. I have my ring finger like clamping still almost upside down towards the middle of the mouse. And then I have my two fingers on the two clicks. But yeah, me and Huddled have the same hand size though for the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I completely. I remember, when you were going after more of those ergo mice. I think there was one from Japan that you really liked.
Oh yeah, the Dharma Point one was pretty cool. But that's kind of like a Cooler Master clone, I realized after using it, but it had better clicks.
Yeah.
I mean, and like hand size is just so crazy. Like there's actually this 18-year-old named Kips, and he has 16 centimeter hands. And I don't know, it's just kind of crazy to me how like we all have different hand sizes and we still wind up liking the same mice.
Yeah, Kips has pretty small hands. And I'm pretty sure he's the Hot ES right now, and then I have like hands that are like 7 centimeters longer, and I still use the same mouse.
Yeah. I think there's more of a market for, the true eggs. I really want to see like a Myco type refresh. I think we're kind of seeing it with what I think it's the CM6000, right?
Yeah, Boardzy had one of those.
Oh, the CM600? I have like 2 of those. Yeah.
But there's starting to be a lane for the Mycos again. I think we had one at the DM3. Yeah, so it's nice seeing that start. I really think with as many kids play Fortnite, I really think smaller mice need to be more of a thing. I have a bad habit where I walk into Micro Center for something completely different, and I wander into the mouse section, and all of a sudden I start recommending mice to like adults and also their families. It's the weirdest habit, and I end up there for like an hour and a half, and usually I end up the little kid ends up with like a Model O minus instead of because one thing that people don't understand is a lot of parents, when they're buying mice for their kids, if they're in like a store like that, they get computer parts. So this is how like Corsair and Asus and all of them get their sales. It's from parents that don't really game, but when they get their computer parts, they're buying from what they know from the computer parts that they buy. And that's how shit mice get sold. In case you guys were ever wondering how it happens, That's how it happens. So I do my due diligence every time I go into a micro center and save a child from a trash life.
Yeah, the only like on the topic of like actual stores, none of them really stock good mice. My local micro center has the Viper Mini, and the G203, which are the only good mice. Kind of blasphemous, and I feel like people should really like start stocking better mice in real stores. Hot
Best
take.
Buy is kind of okay. There's one store that does sell Zowie mice, believe it or not. It's like Fry's, I think.
Yeah, Fry's Electronics had my local Fry's Electronics back in California had all the Zowie mice like on display, and you could try out the shapes, which was pretty cool to see. To be honest, I got to just try out all the Zowie shapes right there.
Yeah.
And one time I was at Best Buy, and one of the employees was like in the mouse section, and he saw me looking at the Lexip mouse feet. He's like, "Yo, I recommend those Lexip mouse feet," you know. And he asked me like what DPI and stuff I played on. Talk about the ceramic mouse feet.
Did I tell you guys the story of how Lexips told me I own the most Lexips of anyone in the country? They actually they started supplying them at the Amazon warehouse right by my house because I was buying them up at such an amount back then. I mean, I was probably buying, because my goal is to buy enough for every mouse that I had. Probably have enough for like 30, 40 mice at the end. But
how many of the Lexip feet do you put on your mice?
It really depends on the mouse. You know, some need 4, some need 5, some need 6. Like I think if you're using like you have to stand down certain things, but like if you're using a MX 518 or you're using like a G303, I think those are ones that need 6 to really balance them out. Other ones, like if you're using like a S1 or a S2, those need 4. This is a Dwayne Wade jersey. It's a Dwayne Wade jersey. Yeah. Gonna have to get a Jimmy Butler and a Bam Adebayo. But also, I think there's some that need 5. The DM2 Comfy is definitely one that needs a 5. So it's all out there. Yeah, it just depends. The Corsair Iron Claw is one of those ones that need 5. Basically, think about it like this, right? Your average mouse needs 4. If your mouse has like an extra like thumb piece that's far out, that will need 5. And then if it's just a very balanced mouse but has like 2 flares, that will need 6. Because the main thing with Lexips is you just don't want, they're so tall, right? You have to think about how much thicker they are. The main thing is you don't want your mouse to wobble. As long as your mouse isn't wobbling, that means you did it right.
But Boardzy, you had some issues when you used your Lexips, right?
I honestly don't remember. Kind of like
you had them on the XM1. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was just using them on cloth pads, and that was just a miserable experience. Kind of forgot about it, but I might give them another try. Do you think G floats are good?
I haven't gotten G floats yet. I'm planning on ordering some. I've heard that they aren't as ideal. It just depends. I've heard they're really bad on cloth, but they're a lot better on hard pads. Here's the big thing though. Here's the big thing that you have to think about that separates G floats and Lexips. Just ideally, right? Your Lexips, when you look at them, they have that more of that point. They're domes, so they have that. That's what allows them to just zoom around in the immediate change of directions. If you're making it a bigger shape, like honestly, like what a regular shape of a mouse foot, you're not gonna get that same impact. So the G floats that I was looking at buying, if I bought some, were gonna be the D-, the model D-, and that was mainly because those are the smallest possible G floats that they sell. I would really recommend you're going for small and small surface area, and typically as domed as possible. Because especially when you're looking at cloth, the reason why Lexips are better on cloth than G floats is they're really penetrating more of the pad. And that's what you're looking for.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Steinadot wants to know what type of feet you like, Boardzy.
Female ones.
I'm pretty sure, I think Boardzy
but
would have
I
to go with
prefer
core pads.
core pads. Like
Yeah.
I've just grown accustomed to them. I prefer them over Tiger Arc 2s for sure, and that's the only real competitor in my opinion.
Yeah,
Because
Hyperglide has really fallen out of the market. They are very slow at releasing new mouse feet, and the stock on them is pretty horrible. It's
and
pretty
it take
funny.
it.
For a little while on eBay, people would resell Hyperglide mouse feet. Like
Oh yeah.
the Final Mouse Hyperglides, you could buy one pair of them on eBay for like $25, and they're only like $15 if you buy a retail. And I got away with doing that. I sold my fucking extra Final Mouse Hyperglides on eBay for basically $50.
Mm.
It's definitely nice to see like other mouse foot manufacturers like stepping up because Hyperglide definitely like dead.
Well, CorePad's been around forever. I don't know if you guys know this.
Yeah, core pads have been
CorePad,
around for
They
a
keep
long
getting
time.
updated though.
They
Like
keep getting updated
Yeah.
and have more better rounded edges, and they feel better on your pad.
yeah, there's some
Much better.
I've been using CorePad since at least 2011. Just for a
Really?
little history lesson. Yeah. Actually, my first gaming mouse pad was a CorePad mouse pad. The CorePad Sero full desk pad, and then I had a CorePad Kiera hard pad.
I didn't even know they made pads. That is
Yeah, I mean,
wonderful
they haven't
information.
updated their pads in years, but you can still find them in some places. Also, what other things? Have you guys ever tried aluminum? Mouse feet?
Mouse feet?
Yeah,
Nah.
Bloody
I
makes
haven't.
metal
No, I
mouse
haven't
feet. If
tried
you guys
any.
want to try them, the
Yeah.
Bloody SP80 is actually a really good mouse. As optical, they experimented with optical clicks and metal feet a lot earlier, and it's basically a G Pro. It's just longer. So I'd really recommend the SP80. The SP30, if I recall, is pretty much an EC2, and you just have to open them up. And there's a little weight inside. Once you take out the weight, they were actually relatively decent weight for their era.
Those mouse feet seem interesting though. The aluminum ones might review them.
Hori also made.
Review.
So do you remember Sheena? You guys remember Sheena?
Yeah, the mouse collector.
Yeah, so Sheena actually recommended I get I can't remember the name of the mouse. But I see it right now actually. Let me pull it out. Okay, so I have two mice to show you guys.
Yes.
Here's the Bloody SP80. Actually has Lexips on it now. That's surprising. But this is what it looks like. This is one of my favorite ambidextrous mice for a while. Just a longer. Yeah. And then the other
Got that
mouse
bare
I wanted
braided
to show
wire.
you. Yeah. And the other mouse I wanted to show you guys. This is the Hori Edge 101. Its shape is a lot similar to a ZA11. It has two buttons, but then also has an interesting button if you just were to grip your mouse, right? There's a button right there. It's hit by like the meat of your thumb.
Really?
Yeah, so if you see it, it's right here. And then also it has stainless steel feet. If you guys know Hori, they're a Japanese brand. They make awesome Nintendo Switch accessories. Oh yeah, I was one of the first people to own BBWs. I've got maybe 17 or 18 pairs. Tonti Armadillo also promised me another 9 or so that I bought from him, but those have never arrived, and that's fine. Whoever he is, I hope he's doing well.
What do you think about like bare braided wires compared to paracords?
Far superior. Bare braided wires are what paracords wish they were.
I need a BBW. So never considered it before.
There's a guy you can
you can go with photon wire.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Photon
He's in the Discord.
Dude, I filled out that fucking form like 3 times. I never got a response, but
just
I will
ask
try it
me.
again.
I can refer him to you. He lives like maybe 15 minutes from him.
Yeah, just go to his house and tell him Boardzy needs a fat BBW.
Yeah. But yeah, he actually he's roommates with Pineapple, if you guys remember Pineapple.
Oh, I think I remember Pineapple making like the fair braided wires.
Yeah. So what made Photon Wire a thing is he made a machine. So the guy at Photon Wire, he made a machine that 3D prints. He 3D printed a machine that can actually braid wires. So that's why he can mass produce the wires, is the machine actually braids them for him.
That is impressive engineering on his part.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so where are you guys thinking about different clicks? I never really experimented with the gold, with the TTC golds. So now I really want to get a TTC gold mouse, which is why I was thinking about getting the Steel series. But I've heard so much negative stuff about it. I don't even want it anymore.
I would recommend, like, if you want to try TTC golds, get the Pulsefire Haste. It's an FK clone, and it has them. Have you tried Kale Reds?
I've not tried Kale Reds. Is there a good mouse you can recommend that has Kale Reds?
The XM1 RGB has them stock, and they're like specially like sorted ones. Apparently, they're like snappier. But better, like, mouse switches other than Omron 20Ms, they're definitely worth looking into.
The Hottie S Stardust Edition has TTC golds, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
The iTacTech page says it has TTC golds by default.
Really? I don't know if they updated.
Didn't. Maybe, yeah, I think they might have just done it with the second batch.
That would be
the first batch that we received, I'm pretty sure it's just the Omrons.
My M1K is actually in the mail. IPS Blue just sent me the tracking number for it, so it should be coming soon.
Oh, so you got the Zonkanig? Yeah, Boardzy should be getting one, hopefully in the next couple of months.
One eventually. Looking very forward to it.
We were in a group chat with IPS Blue the other day talking about it.
Yeah, I've known him forever. He actually was really excited. I wonder if he's gonna pop in here. He was really excited to hear us all talk.
Yeah, it's like 5 a.m. for him right now, though.
Yeah. I just love the firmware they put into that thing. Yeah, M1K should go back into stock later in the year. Bye. The mouse I really want, though, the mouse I absolutely need, Logitech G303 Lightspeed, badly, and MX518 Lightspeed. And I mean, like, super light Lightspeed. Same shape, same size, just lighter and wireless. And I'll be so happy. So I've always disliked, and what led me away from Logitech in recent years is they don't let you adjust LOD anymore. And that makes me so sad. What if I want to put Lexips on my mouse? What if I want to put my mouse on like a Glee pad, you know?
Yeah, so inconsiderate.
Yeah, because one thing people don't know is a lot of glass pads have LOD issues. You know, a higher LOD usually gets you better results on glass pads.
Yeah, a lot of pads, like depending on the thickness, the hardness of it, you're going to have issues like with the Artisan Raiden with LOD issues. It's another thing. And other hard pads, like I had some issues on my Helios when I was trying to test the G Pro Wireless at first with my Hyperglides on it because they were like too thick. And just, I don't know why companies can't just add like a simple feature to like the mouse software where you can just adjust it between like 2mm and 3mm because it makes such a huge difference.
They feel like they're too smart for our own good.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I am also really excited to see if they do a G502 ultralight Lightspeed. Just because if they can make that casual shape lightweight and really good wireless, it'll change. People will have a whole new appreciation. But when we're on the subject of light, this has been something I've been thinking about. Will mice get to a point to where they're so light that there will be a reason to start putting weights back into mice? Because once we get into like the 30 through 50 gram range, right? I think you could start having the option of adding 5 to 10 gram weights throughout the mouse, if they're properly evenly distributed. Because I mean, I know there's some people that really do like the 70-gram weight, and the way the industry is going, they might get left behind.
I mean, there's always going to be options for like heavier mice if they want that. I don't really see much value in, having the ability to add weight to like a smaller mouse. You can just go with a heavier, smaller mouse from like a different company.
Yeah, and like just adding to what Huddled said, when I was talking to Vaxi, they were saying that they're never gonna like step into the ultra lightweight mouse game, and they're gonna keep like pumping out like sort of ergo, like fairly heavy, not heavy, but like 70 to 80 gram shapes.
Yeah.
So
I think
I
there's
don't feel like
definitely a market for that.
Yeah, mainly like boomers, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm friends with like a lot of old Overwatch former TF2 pros and such, and that's one of the things they tell me. They're like, when I see this new lane, I don't want that. They'll try those mice, and then they'll end up back on their EC2 or their, and it's just like part of it. It's a shame because there's so many things that are absolutely everyone will like. Better cables, universally loved. Wireless, universally loved. But when you start playing with the weights and the shapes, that's when you start splitting off the parties. So as long as we can have that retained, which is why I'm really excited. I'm really hoping we get to an era where every mouse has a small, medium, and large shape. That's what I would personally dream of. That's what I loved about Zowie. The fact that they had a large for everybody. Praise them. Bless their hearts.
Even though it's not like a good option for making money, they actually accounted for people with like big hands.
Oh yeah. Yes. I own the ZA11 and the FK Plus. Even though I don't like the FK series, I still have an FK Plus just because they were thinking about me.
That's honestly one of my least favorite mice. I had the mouse fitting kit and I tried it. Honestly, it just felt like a ginormous piece of plastic. It wasn't even a mouse at that point. But I guess like people with ginormous hands, it's a solid option.
It is. I'll tell you this. There's small mice. I like small mice. If I can find my KPU. Where's my KPU? Here it is. Yeah. I love it's too many wires. I can't grab it. But the KPU is one of my favorite mice. Absolutely adore it. Play great with it. I can't play for more than like 3 to 4 hours with it. It hurts my hand playing long sessions with it. And it's really a shame. It's a perfect mouse, except for me, I just need it to be bigger. If it was bigger, wireless, or better cable, that might be in game for me. That might be where we just get off the train.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I've never like had a mouse that I just couldn't like main because of the shape. Because I don't know, I kind of think about it like you could have the perfect shape on an HK gaming mouse, but it will still feel like a cheap piece of shit in your hand. Like I would prefer a mouse that like I'm like 80% on board with the shape and it has perfect features and like a solid build. But
yeah, like for me, clicks and build quality and like how the mouse feels in your hand, like, cheap product, you're not going to aim as well with it. If the clicks kind of suck, you're not going to get as good of high scores. It's been the problem with like Zowie mice, like Huano switches. I just can't click as fast. But I mean, the Zowie ones are gotten a lot better. But like on the old copies of like Zowie mice, definitely not as good.
You also gotta think of what Huanos. I mean, when you think of Zowie, you think of CS, right?
Yeah.
And for that, right, you don't wanna accidentally click. And CS gave away your position. You have to deal with your reload. Like it's life changing. But
life changing shit.
It is. Whereas like when you're playing Kovacs, you need to be clicking as fast as possible. When you're playing OC, you need to be clicking as fast as possible.
Yeah, you should get Kovacs open on your stream right now. Try some new scenarios out that you haven't played in a while.
Yeah. I'm trying to, as much as these guys, well, they all know Kovacs. I'm trying to show them something new. trying to show them something new.
Well, yeah, I think the chat wants to watch you play Kovac though, because they come from.
Put a 1
Boardzy.
if you want to see him play Kovac.
Put a 1 if you want to see Shootmania and Andy play Kovacs in the chat.
Where's the diabolical? We just found a match of Instagive. Let me get all my boys.
One. Let's go.
Let me show you guys where. I don't know if you guys know this one. First of all, Kovacs was based on Quake. Did you all know that?
Well, yeah. It was pretty obvious, like, but in the beginning when the scenarios like Kata icy long strafes, based on like the Quake map and like the long strafing in Quake LG duels.
Oh, all right, we're in the lobby. Oh yeah, I didn't realize there's. But this is basically where all your click timing comes from, right here. Yeah. This game is diabolical. Let's talk about the future of wireless. What are you guys thinking about? What sensors are you okay with having wireless? And what sensors are you not okay with right now? So I feel like now that, was it the PMW 33, 35? Yeah, I think now we're starting, anyone can get a wireless mouse. Like OEMs are coming out the gate with good wireless. We're getting to that part.
Is the Ponage Ultra Custom on the 3335?
Yeah,
it might be. I think part of what it does is it allows you to make them lighter as well, because it takes less energy.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, honestly, I think we've gotten to the point where basically wireless mice are almost just as good as wired mice, and like any company is going to have the ability now to like release a good wireless mouse. So you're not going to have tracking issues when you're flicking your mouse super fast anymore. So that was a problem with like a lot of older cheap wireless mice, but nowadays, all the wireless sensors are pretty good. I'm pretty sure, Logitech is releasing their new 25K sensor with the G Pro Super Light that's supposed to be coming out, and that's going to be pretty cool. But I don't really know if it's going to be a noticeable difference or upgrade over like the 3335 and the Model O wireless and the Ponage Ultra Custom.
Mm-hmm. I agree for the most part, but the fucking Arox 3 that just released, people are having tons of sensor issues with that. So
it might just be like poor implementation.
Yeah, it's still like possible to mess up a wireless sensor, but it's getting so much easier, especially with the 3335, which is like just a more power efficient 3389, which I'm a fan of. And whatever, I don't know what the Model O wireless is using. They say it's like the BAMF sensor, but like there's actually no info on what it like technically is.
Have you guys been to mouse? I think sensor.fy. There's a link. I'm about to put in the chat if it's not in one of my commands. But it has sensor information for almost everything. If it's publicly available. I know the guy who does it, he spends all of his days scraping documentation for sensor information.
Yeah, it's just all of the reviews for the Model O wireless, those guys apparently have tried to find info on it and they just haven't. So I don't know how easily accessible it is as of now, but I'm sure down the line we'll like find out.
Yeah, once people are able to like break the mouse down, like Bearded Bob and all these other
Yeah, Bearded Bob does not take no for an answer when searching for data on mice.
Yeah, I remember when Barry Bob. Oh, thank you for the command. I remember when Barry Bob got into the whole scene. Way back in the day, man. Barry Bob's got so much money, man. He just once he got in, there was no getting him out. Man, the thing he has to test, the test sensitive or test friction. I thought about doing that. That's like maybe anywhere between a $1,000 to $3,000 piece of equipment.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that. I'm actually going to be doing a collab video with Bearded Bob.
I recommended Bearded Bob do a collab with me. This was ages ago on Lexips when I was the only person who knew about Lexips like that. And because long story. I'm still as much as I love Bob, and I love Bob. I'm still a little salty about the collab that never was.
Well, if you get back into the review game, I'm sure he'll be down to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna like split up like a mouse pad review. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm gonna go over like the surface, like the value and how I feel about it, and he's gonna like do the technical like shit about the glide.
I want to do probably something with Brandon as well. I used to be pretty close with Brandon, even though I
BT?
never watched any of his reviews. Bad habit. I used to never watch anyone's reviews back when I was doing them.
Yeah, I watch a lot of BT's videos. They are a staple of my stream.
Yeah, BT's cool. I can't really speak on the quality of his videos, but he's a cool guy.
Yeah, some of his opinions are iffy, but he's definitely a kind guy. He's been like pretty fucking cool to me and Huddled like in the past week.
Yeah. Oh, you guys. Yeah. I was supposed to. You were supposed to do a collab with Sirius when I introduced the two a while back. I don't think it ever happened, but it was supposed to be a thing. Yeah. Going on to the topic though, further with, is there, are there any sensors that you just don't trust? I remember there was a day or an era where as long as it was a 3310, it was playable. It was esports playable. I saw your comment on the ZA and you said you don't want to use it because it's a 3310. But where I come from, as long as it's a 3310, that meant you could relatively be reliable taking it to land. You might have that one rare spin out, but for the most part, it was going to do you justice.
Yeah, I would say now in 2020, the 3310 is just far outdated. There's just much better sensors and options on the market. I wouldn't recommend using any mouse with that because you don't want anything to interfere with like your ability to play. You're at a land now as players continue to get better, have better aim. You don't want anything interfering with your game. You just want your skill.
And like, I don't know, when I was using the 3310s and the old Zowie mice, and I just switched back to the XM1 with a 3389, it just felt snappier. Like, I don't know any other way to say it. So I would just, anything 3310 or below, I'm pretty sus of. But other than that, I don't think too much of it.
Yeah, 3360 has been reliable for ages now. I feel like 3360 was the first time where we didn't have problems. At all, no problems.
Yeah, apparently 3360s aren't being made anymore, though. Have you heard about that?
No, but it's good because I'm tired of everybody cheaping out and just going with the 3360. Vendors need to learn. So, thank you. Thank you. What's it called?
Pixart, I think.
Yeah, Pixart. Thank you, Pixart, for not letting people be cheap anymore. Oh, what do we think about the next Astrum? Is it ever going to happen? Is the Astrum ever going to come out?
Yeah, so that was pretty big back in like 2017 or 2016 when it was announced? I think it might have been 2017.
From like 2016 through so the thing was eventually the Diabolical and the Astrum were going to come out. Those were the two things that were never going to happen. And we had Diabolical, but we don't have the Astrum.
Yeah, I kind of don't think it's ever going to happen, similar like to how I don't think the new Final Mouse is ever going to come out. It's just when things get delayed for so long, I kind of just lose hope in them. But if it does.
Yeah, but like the 9X Astrum had a whole like GoFundMe and everything, and now it's been delayed so long. It was supposed to come out, 3 years ago.
Well, yeah, it's like years. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. It wasn't just like a money grab, right?
In a way, it almost was, but he's still working on it. He's posted updates,
really,
occasionally throughout the months.
The thing is, he got a mouse out before. Hey, Veloce! We got some aim assist in the chat. We got aim assist in the chat. Mad love. Mad love. Aim assist in the chat. I don't know if you guys remember those days. But yeah, definitely Kickstarters are interesting. Seeing M1K is one of the guys who truly delivered, so I'm very excited about that. But most of the other Kickstarters, I just haven't been able to get behind recently. For mice.
I was a part of the Ponage one, and I mean,
that's true. That was a really good one.
And my copy, like, it wasn't the best, but for a Kickstarter mouse, I was pretty impressed. Other than that, I haven't like tried anything. I don't know if there's anything like new that I should be looking out for though.
There was that like Kickstarter mouse, the Zephyr or whatever. It had like a fan inside of it.
Oh yeah, that thing fucking flopped though. They lied about the weight by 20 grams. That's
why
ridiculous.
are there fans in mice? Can we not make this a thing? That's something I really haven't liked. I really haven't been able to get behind it.
To me, it seemed kind of like desperate. Like nobody was asking for a fan in their mouse. They just wanted to bring something new to the table, and it failed pretty bad.
Yeah. That's one of those things where I never wanted to. Yeah. Let me think.
Have you heard about the Atom Palm? Like, do you know anything about that?
No, I haven't.
Well, I think you'd like this one a lot, especially your your hands.
I'll send the link in your
palm gripping. It's gonna have a variable polling rate up to 8,000 hertz. Is it?
Yeah, it's 8K hertz, like the M1K. It's insane.
All right,
take a look at it.
I also want to do a quick aside. So, what is the thoughts on this increased DPI? Are we really thinking that these DPIs are making a world-changing difference? Like, I mean, with 4K monitors, yes, there's more need for, but I think we're past the point of like diminishing returns. I mean, DPI is really, I feel like, only valuable for things like Excel. I really personally haven't liked anything over 1600 just from being old. Anything over 1600 is hard to trust. But is anyone in the chat actually use anything over 1600?
I doubt it, honestly. Like, I used to use 1600, and even like just for the desktop, it was fast. I couldn't imagine like using 3200, and like anything past that, it's just like you're doing it for the meme. But like, it's easy for like companies to market like, oh my god, look at bigger number, get this mouse. It's just like stupid. But
I think the true thing now that they should be marketing is like the polling rate. If we're going up to like 8,000 hertz gaming mice and we're improving that, this is going to be a pretty big thing. If Razer can release a mouse with like a super high polling.
Yeah, Razer already sent samples out of the Viper, like the standard wired Viper with 8K. If they make an 8K Viper Mini, I would fucking do some unspeakable things to get my hand on that mouse.
What is people's thoughts on the Basilisk? The Basilisk is one of my favorite underrated mice. The Basilisk V2 and the Basilisk Hyperspeed. You can get the I mean, for most people, I think it's a little bit too much weight, but it's something.
I wouldn't ever use a mouse like that for gaming, but it's pretty cheap. It seems like has a solid Razer specs. But yeah, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. Okay. What? So for Fortnite, right? Where you look at like side clicks and everything, side buttons. How does that kind of impact your decision? I feel like that's where you really get that option.
Well, I don't play Fortnite anymore, but when I used to, it obviously mattered a lot.
That's wonderful news.
Yeah.
Well, now he plays Crunker instead. I don't know if that's a whole lot better.
Yeah, that's probably not much better.
Listen, Crunker is the greatest mechanical game of all time. But what were we talking about?
Andy, you should pull up Crunker right now.
Play Crunker.
I don't have it.
It's easy. You don't need to get a web browser game.
We'll do a Crunker. We'll do a Crunker maybe for episode 2.
Yes.
Episode 2.
I mean, you can try it out right now on stream. All you got to do is pull up Crunker.io on your Google Chrome.
You know what we should do? You should get on Diabolical, and then when you get Diabolical, you should play me in Shaft Arena, and let's see how that tracking aim is when it matters the most.
And you still have Diabolical installed, Boardzy.
I do not.
Me neither.
It's a
I haven't
small
installed that on my
download.
PC.
It's a
Hey,
small
well, I mean, maybe
download.
episode 2 could be the gaming episode.
True.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then you guys can get me to play all of the games you play. I've played a lot of games with you though, Huddled. I keep a lot of things on my computer just in case Huddled randomly calls in like a 5-person party and is like, I want to play this.
Playing Paladins was pretty fun.
It was. But though one thing I will say I appreciate about Fortnite's done so much for the mouse stand, so I'm very thankful for it. It's done so much for the industry.
Oh wait, yeah, we were talking about the side buttons, right?
Yes.
I feel like if you do play Fortnite, it matters a lot, and it definitely limits your like mouse choice in some scenarios, because a ton of like companies don't really prioritize side buttons because they realize like people don't notice the difference between bad ones and good ones. But on basically every mouse I get, there's a ton of pre-travel on the side buttons, like regardless of the company. And I mean, if they could get like crispier and on the same level as like main switches, that would obviously be ideal. But I don't know if it's worth putting as much time into as something like main switches or wait.
If you want to experiment with, back in the day, they did experiment with side clicks. So I don't know if you've heard of this mouse, the Razer Naga Hex. I guess you could also get it probably from the Razer, what is it? What's that shit called? The Razer Naga Trinity. But the Naga Hex was big because it was designed for League of Legends, and it had 6 mechanical clicks on it.
Really?
Yes. So I would be curious how something like that would do if they were to bring it back for the day, because that was designed for getting people who really cared about their side buttons interested. But a wise man once told me, the more things you do with the side buttons, the less you focus on your tracking. And
yeah, it definitely makes it.
Yeah, I mean, for Fortnite, people are only really using the 2 side buttons, and the rest of the stuff's on their keyboard. Like, you just need 2 really like well placed side buttons that feel nice. Like, they're not mushy, you know, like the crappy Zowie ones we have.
Yeah.
You want something that feels like clicky and responsive. Kind of, I mean, Logitech ones have been pretty decent.
Yeah. I'm so
the Final
glad.
Mouse ones are also okay.
Final Mouses are honestly probably the best.
Probably some of the best.
Rocat ones are like terrible usually. The Burst Pro has decent ones, but the ones
Pro
on the
Wireless had decent ones.
Okay. Do you remember, on the subject of Rocat, do you remember Elon? Huddled?
Yeah, in the server?
Yeah. One thing I really appreciate about Rocat, they're one of the first companies to really go out and hire a well-known mouse reviewer. Or not reviewer, but mouse guy. One of the guys known for shedding weight more than anybody else as their head of product. So that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited for everything that they're going to come out with in the future. And I think we've seen similar things. I think we're seeing similar things also with XM1. I know XM1 had Hamster involved and Tony Armadillo involved early in a lot of the stuff that they did. I can say the same thing for Cooler Master. Tony Armadillo was very involved with them and making sure that they really considered what was important. So it's nice seeing like not just the big reviewers, but because I mean, the more involved Rocket Jump Ninja is with every mouse, the more likely you're gonna get an FK clone.
Yeah, like look at the Razer Viper. It's exactly that.
I'm so sad every time I get FK clone come out, I'm like, yep, they let Zai have way too much input on this mouse. That's how I know.
But yeah, it's great to see like companies who take like smaller like entities in the community into consideration, especially like when they straight up like bring them on, like HyperX is doing with Hoya.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Whoa, Boardzy.
That's not really a leak. Not really a leak. But let me think of another. Let me think of another interesting thing. Mouse pads. Mouse pads. What are we thinking, boys? Is the icy gonna change the game forever?
Yeah. I think it
based on
might.
what I'm hearing, like everybody who's had it so far has said great things about it. And
we should have ours next week.
Yeah, I ordered mine on Thursday and it's not shipped out yet. It truly
Mine hasn't
tragic.
shipped out either.
But once I get my hands on it,
I told you during COVID for sure they're only gonna ship on weekdays. It'll ship out probably Monday.
Hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. And my Model O wireless that I pre-ordered in September.
I did pay the extra $1 for 1 to 3 day shipping instead of 5 to 10 day shipping.
Oh my god! And look what they did to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, what Artisan needs is they need a distribution center in the United States. I think they've.
I guess they're just too good for us, though. You know.
But then, how would the
on
children hand weave them? That would just be really weird.
I just don't think they can produce them in the same rate. You know, they have these people that are trained professionally to design the perfect weave of cloth. And there's a reason.
I mean, it's if they could do it on a bigger scale, I think they would. But it just there's so much like stuff that we don't know about Artisan. Honestly, they're pretty like enigmatic.
Like with the RM series, it was supposed to come out in 2018.
That's
never coming out.
It's never coming out.
We're supposed to have the sticky base, but with the removable cloth, like so that you could replace it easier.
I could see Artisan get bought by somebody. I don't know if I want anyone buying Final Mouse. Final Mouse gave up their best shape. They gave up their best mouse, and I will never forgive them. I'll never forgive them.
The classic Ergo too.
They gave up their Ergo.
Yeah.
And it's just not the same anymore.
Yeah. I mean, Final Mouse mice, they're like super hard to get, but they are solid mice in my opinion. They definitely are extremely influential, but I'm not a huge fan of the fact that their drop has been delayed like 4 months now, 3 months, and there's just like no word. Every
Yeah, it was supposed to be announced in August with this like huge game and everything.
To be fair, did we ever think that game was really coming out? Did any of you really think that game was coming out?
I figured the game wouldn't come out, but I was expecting a mouse, but I guess set my standards.
I mean, Rocket Jump Ninja has tweeted about it though. He said it was his new favorite.
That tweet was amazing.
Rocket Jump, I could see Rocket Jump Ninja playing the Crunker of aim trainers. I could see it. I feel like it's gonna be like a browser-based aim trainer.
Yeah, I mean, Tifu showed it off. It looked. Do you remember that tweet, Huddled?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. It looked like it was in really early stages, and that was like last spring. So I don't know.
So to be fair, it is COVID. It's not likely that they could get much done. I'm sure they have a very small team. How do we feel about the new Extra 5 mouse? It looks really interesting. I like the rear flares. It's something that I would be interested in. Definitely something I would be interested in.
I totally forgot that mouse existed. I need to order it. Wait, is it like totally available or is it on pre-order?
People were asking me if I'm going to review it. I'm not sure if it's released yet.
Rocket Jump Ninja posted the video, and he's the only person who has it so far.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched that yet. I'm probably going to watch it on stream tomorrow.
Yo, Andy, you should pull up Crunker right now on stream and just try out what the new modern action FPS looks like. All the kids are playing it now.
All the kids are playing it?
Yeah.
There's usually over 10,000 players online.
Many refer to it as the better Quake.
It even has slide hopping in the same way. Like
I'm sure it's gonna be great. I have no doubt.
Pull it up real quick.
All right. Crunker.io.
Yeah. Just switch over to the display capture though. We can get you the good settings and everything. Oh, is that Kovacs open? I saw Kovacs open.
That sounds like I feel like this is gonna be better for a day too. It sounds like a lot of work if I'm gonna have to change the settings and everything.
I mean, not really. You just press one button.
Okay, it's one button.
Yeah. Pull it up on the stream.
All right, we're gonna do one. But what?
Wait, we should.
Oh, other mouse pads though, and other mice. What mice are we looking forward to right now?
I'm really looking forward to the new G Pro wireless, the updated, a lot lighter one.
Yeah, 25% lighter.
25% lighter without having holes in it. Does seem pretty nice. And if it's gonna have like better clicks in QC, without the double clicking and all that.
Yeah,
That's
I wish
gonna be cool.
Didn't they switch to Omron 20Ms? That's kind of disappointing.
They're still using Omrons. I don't really need it in my life.
I kind of like Omrons though. I don't know. You can always solder in new switches though, like Kales.
True.
Here, wait, Shuman, Andy, go click on settings real quick in the bottom left.
Okay.
Oh wait, fuck. Should I give him my settings?
No, he's just gonna click on Pro because that's better.
Oh yeah, that's way easier.
And then at the top where it says Custom, just click on that drop down and click on Pro, and then it'll load the Pro settings. And for your sensitivity, just go to Controls. What DPI are you on right now?
I'm on probably 800. Yeah, 800.
You're gonna want to use like 0.25.
Yeah.
0.25 will be good. Just put 0.25 for all of those.
Yeah, just like type the number. Don't try to drag it.
Yeah. You just type in 0.25 for the X and Y, and then the aim X and Y.
But yeah, I think somebody in chat said that the fucking Extrafy M4D2 releases in December. So that makes the mouse even more boring, which I didn't think was possible.
And also you can press F11 to go full screen.
Servers.
Just click. No, you just click on the backdrop and you'll spawn in. It puts you in a game automatically.
Yeah.
Okay. What other things should we really talk about? Mice I've got coming up that you guys are gonna see. So I just got the Real Force mouse with the top what are they called? The topper keys. Yeah, so this actually has real keyboard switches in this mouse. I saw the tracking. It's coming on Tuesday. So
I just click to spawn in real quick. You can click to play, and you'll spawn in.
Yeah,
on the backdrop.
Yeah.
Let's go. He's playing Crunker.
Okay.
Well, you're on 2 FPS.
Yeah, I think he probably needs to download it. I think he has too many like tabs and stuff open on his computer.
Is your CPU usage on like 200%?
I'm on a 9900K 2080 Ti. Okay. Yeah. I have no clue if these sounds.
I think it seems like wait, press escape. Go back to like the menu. You can download it real quick. Takes 2 seconds.
Okay.
It's like
look at the top right, that yellow download button.
Yeah.
Click on that.
Discord thing.
Yeah, and then Windows installer.
Oh yeah, the Ducky Feather. That's another FK.
The Ducky Feather, yeah, another.
Are you excited for that?
And then just run this setup.
I don't need another. I don't need another FK clone in my life. I'm sorry, I've had my share.
And that's what I was thinking. And then I tried the Pulsefire Haste, and it was honestly like very refreshing to see a FK clone that gets like everything right on paper. And HyperX has some big things planned in the future. I'm not going to leak them, but their mice game is actually like solid.
Yeah, I'm not leaking anything either. I'm just excited for wherever mice in general are going to be, and that's all I can say.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if we get to the point where like wireless 8K polling rate is somehow the standard, that's like basically endgame.
Maybe 2 years from now.
Crunker is now a mobile game.
It is everywhere.
Yeah. What's going on with this client? Do you see this? Can we close out of the client? Close out of it and reopen it.
Did you even get here?
What's going on with this Crunker?
Wait,
You're gonna search it for in your taskbar or like your start menu. It should be in there now. Official Crunker client.
What other things are really I have the NPO1 coming, and I'm really excited about that as well.
Oh yeah, there's again. Wait, go to your settings real quick and load the pro settings again. And then change your sense since you downloaded it now.
And then custom. How I change controls?
What are you trying to change?
Just
go to your settings. Go to your settings.
Settings. In the bottom left.
I need to change this to...
And then controls, and then scroll up to the top of it, and there should be keybinds if you scroll all the way up. Yeah, just make everything up. 0.25 should be like about 35 cm.
You use scroll wheel jump?
No, I use pinky jump.
Here, wait, scroll up real quick to the very top of controls. On the controls section. And then keybinds right there.
Yeah.
And you can change jump to whatever you need to be. And then shift, you're gonna need to slide on the ground as well.
That's fine.
So make that an accessible key.
It's like jump, it's like sliding and shifting. And make sure you just close out of your Chrome tab so it doesn't lag at all. The top right. That way you don't have two Crunker windows open because it uses a lot of like CPU usage and stuff.
Okay.
And you need to spawn in now. It should be good.
Where?
Just click off the options and you'll be able to spawn in.
Yeah, you can just interact. Doesn't matter.
All that stuff doesn't matter. It's not in like a public match. Also close Diabolical so it doesn't, take all your CPU usage as well.
We would never close Diabolical.
Try close Diabolical and Kovacs. You don't have so many games open at once. You'll get a lot better performance.
Yeah,
I got 225.
I mean, yeah, but with your PC, you probably should be hitting like...
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, you have to go to your settings and uncap your frame rate.
Wait, doesn't it auto do that for browsing?
Oh, no,
it doesn't.
I have my GPU.
My GPU he has the NVIDIA one. Oh, okay.
Dude, Murky is in chat saying that jumping is shit in Crunker when he simply just does not understand Crunker movement, and I find
But he has Diabolical in his name. Also, you might want to set your mouse bowling rate to 500. If you get, and you have to aim down.
You have to ADS.
Like, yeah, you have to ADS the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why am I so zoomed?
Oh, you can change that.
Yeah. We'll show him the setting after this.
Look at you, snappy aim.
Snappy aimer.
Okay.
Let's go. He's cracked.
Settings. How do I change that?
You go to game. In the top. Yeah.
Top bar
the
game.
top bar game. And then go to scroll down a bit.
You might want to increase your field of view to like 110 should be fine.
No, that's like pretty good. But go to scroll down.
Okay.
That's the view model though.
Where I got to?
ADS FOV power. Put it on like
0.4.
Yeah, 0.4. That way when you ADS, it doesn't like do as much.
Okay. All right, so this is supposed to be the future.
Yes.
Okay.
Make sure you set your mouse to 500 hertz though.
Okay.
I mean, it's really not.
I can't do that right now because I can't go into the settings with this mouse.
Really?
Just switch. What mouse are you on?
I can't tell you.
Wait, really? Is it unreleased?
He's got a super secret mouse on his desk right now.
No way. Does it have like a DPI?
Is it the 8,000 hertz Razer mouse? Is that why it's skipping so much? Because it's supposed to be.
Whoa,
he's got a super high polling rate. It's too high for Crunker. Oh man. What mouse is he on?
I'm trying to stream snipe him, but I can't find his game.
His polling rate is way too high.
But,
can we just switch mice real quick?
the one fault of Crunker. You can't use high polling, right?
This is the 8K Razer mouse in Crunker.
Anyways. Yeah, I mean, there's some cool, interesting stuff about this game.
Wait, yeah, you need to slide hop. So like what you do is you jump and then you quickly slide on the ground when you land, and then you jump again.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like b-hopping in Quake. You should be able to get it pretty quick. Like having played Quake, you can strafe jump pretty simply.
Okay. And what?
You should switch mice though, because you're not really gonna be able to play with the polling rate that high.
Let's just.
Hey, wait, can you open up the Zowie mouse hertz tester website and move your mouse around on screen and see what polling rate you're on?
Nah, I'm gonna play something else. Anyways,
Yo, let us see. What polling rate are you on?
Yeah, there's so many mice that have 8K polling rate.
Yeah,
I can think of like 4.
Let's see if we can get a game of this. Anyways, what I have the MPO one coming. So what are you guys' thoughts on that mouse? I saw your review.
Boardzy dropped a review on it. I still haven't tried it yet. I was about to try, but a couple of my friends got it and they didn't like the shape too much. I don't know. It does seem like it. Like I haven't been a big fan of ergo mice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like half ergo. It's like pretty. It's a unique shape. Feels very wide at the bottom, and the cable, it's shit. The feet way too thin. So definitely like they didn't improve much from Zowie. The coating, it's also like half glossy. It's a really weird mouse. I think it got a ton of hype before it actually released, but now that people are getting their hands on it, it's not like overwhelmingly positive. And they tried to like say that they wanted to make a durable cable, but really it just was shit and not a fan.
Bad cable?
Yeah, it's just like a thick cable with a ton of shielding and not very flexible. Feels bad even in a bungee. But once you paracord it or BBW it, it feels pretty nice.
What is the pinouts on the JST? What size is the JST?
I have no idea. It seems like the standard size.
So, okay. Yeah, there's 3 sizes of JSTs. And a lot of companies in shaving weight have started going with smaller JSTs. This is the bane of my existence. Yeah.
Which can you like name a mouse as a smaller JST?
Yeah. So there's the Razer Viper. The Razer Viper is one that has a smaller JST. The Rocat Kane and the Rocat KPU are some that have a smaller JST.
Yeah, I remember recording my KPU.
Rat, which Rat is it? The Rat 2 Plus has a smaller JST. The Rat was before their time, man. They started with lightweight mice. People sleep. Everyone thinks of the heavy ones. But all of like their cheap mice were low weight. People sleep. People sleep on Rat, man. The Rat 2 could have been good. And the Rat, whatever it was, Pro, could have been good. It's just their reputation was shit by then. So it didn't matter. So there's good mice out there. People just sleep. There's a lot of companies that make decent mice that people just underestimate, or at least mice that were ahead of their time.
Yeah, I feel like people don't really appreciate mice that were ahead of their time. Now that they're like kind of outdated, it just becomes like something of the past.
Yeah, I tried one of those Mad Cats one. It was like super lightweight. It was like just almost like a sensor. I got it on Amazon. It had like a pretty crappy sensor, but I was honestly able to aim pretty well with it due to how light it was back in like 2018.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting mice that people just never gave credit to.
The DA Mini is ahead of its time. I don't think so. What do you think about that one, Boardzy?
Which
I
mouse?
The Death Adder Mini.
V2 Mini. I just don't think there's a statement I could disagree with much more.
Why do you not like the Death Adder Mini? What's the? I don't have one, but it's interesting to me.
It's just I rarely like call a shape like objectively bad, but it's a really bad. The Death Adder should not be that small. The cable is terrible. It's just like icing on the cake.
Is it now? Did you like the regular Viper cable or the Viper Mini cable?
I wasn't a huge fan, but it was way better than the one they put on the Death Adder V2 Mini.
Okay.
Which I don't understand why there is a different cable, but it was way thicker, heavier. Overall, just worse.
Well, remember also the Death Adder Mini was never supposed to be in the States. It only made it to the States because of popular demand.
Yeah, and people were saying like Asian people tend to have smaller hands, so it would be better for them. But I just judged the mouse based on how I performed with it, and that was pretty terrible.
Yeah. I really do like the theory of optical switches. Like I love optical switches in theory. Like I said, the Wooting, for example, they're onto something. They're not the only ones. If you've heard of a company, SwiftPoint and Wooting, SwiftPoint for mice and Wooting for keyboards are onto something with being able to tell how far the mouse has been pushed down. And being able to tell how far the keyboard's been pushed down.
I mean, that's the same thing that the Steel Series Apex Pro has.
Okay.
Yeah, but like
with the actuation that
it's different with like analog switches. I know what he's talking about. I don't know how that would work on a mouse though. That would be pretty annoying probably. I'm a fan of optical switches. It's just most companies don't get it right and they release the mouse with shitty switches, and
well, the problem is they get the optical part kind of right. It's just getting the feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if the difference is that big to the point where they should be pushing out like switches that have a shitty feel instead of just like giving a solid, consistent switch. But I've heard the Razer opticals are improved, and I've yet to try them, but I might.
Well, I think where the era is going, I think we're going to get hot swappable mice soon. I think that's next, is hot swappable switches.
Yeah, I used to be a big fan of that, and I started talking to Endgame, and they were just like, this would be really hard to do, and I never considered that. And they said,
I think Asus did it, didn't they?
Yeah, but that's like a really heavy, pretty big mouse, and that's like one of the main selling points. I'm talking about like Endgame making an XM1 hot swappable. That's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
If you're able to somehow unscrew and screw in, new clicks, that would be pretty crazy. The same way you can paracord a mouse,
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at where they're trying to go for paracords now, where we're starting to have
PVC wiring and super smooth cables. But
I think the next solution instead of paracording is going to be, even though I know people don't want it right now, but I think the right solution is USB-C.
Yeah,
or wireless
because then,
wired.
If you have a wired mouse with a USB-C cable, if that becomes a standard, you only need one paracord, and then like you're set for every mouse you get.
Mm-hmm.
As of now, you got to spend like $20 per mouse, and that's like it definitely adds up over time if you're getting a lot of mice.
Oh yeah.
But G-Wolf is starting to use like micro USB cables, and that's very nice.
Yeah, because I can use my Zebra cord for my G-Wolf's Hot ES as well as the Skull Mini.
Zebra gang.
Yeah, so I think that's definitely where we're going. More, I think they proved, like Ponage has proved, we want the most customizable mouse possible.
Yeah, that's what the new Xtrify mouse is as well. They have a swappable like hump, so you can have it like if you play claw or fingertip in theory. But that's a definitely interesting like moddable shells. Makes mice harder to review as well.
Yeah. But I think the idea is the more modular these mice become, the better off we're gonna be.
Yeah, that's definitely, once again, like that's what companies should be striving for, like very moddable, like top performing, high quality mice.
But we saw it. That's what the Astrum was built on. And one thing I would say why people believed in him, he did produce a mouse before. It's not like the Astrum was his first mouse.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a sick idea, but I just like
I think it was ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was too hard. It was so far ahead of its time that it will never happen.
It would be, adjustable sensor position and all of this crazy features.
I just thought you could tell there was a problem because he kept changing every time he wanted something different. Yeah, like, it seemed like every day it was something new. So Boardzy TV. Do you think G Pro Superlight will go out of stock for a long time because of COVID?
I don't even know if that means, honestly.
Do you think it's going to be scalped by people and they're going to have, low supply?
It's Logitech. They're like such a big company. If that's not like an issue with the Model O wireless, I doubt it's really going to be a problem with Logitech's newest huge mouse.
Yeah, with the Logitech and their limited releases for the different colorways of the G Pro wireless. I think one reselling for like $400, the yellow one reselling for like $200.
Here's what I'm gonna say on this, and I fully believe this. Final Mouse is not limited release because they can't keep up with demand. Final Mouse is limited release because they're marketing it to be limited release.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that people need to know. That's intentional. That's by design.
Yeah, like they could have restocked Air 58s by now. They just want it to have that effect of like a exclusive rare item. But all of the people talking about like scalping, I don't think that's really a big problem with mice in the same way it is as like a GPU. Because
in the PS5.
Everyone needs a GPU. Everyone needs a PS5. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you able to secure PS5 yet, Andy, or no?
It's not on my list of things to get right now. I think next thing is new GPU. I've still got my 28 Ti, so it's not even like I have two 28 Ti, so right now it's not even.
Yeah, I don't really think you even need a 3090 until like next year, maybe.
Yeah. One thing I really want to be a thing. So if you ever want to tweet at your favorite mousepad companies, I really want there to be a ruler in inches and centimeters across every mouse pad. I think that needs to be a gold standard. Every mouse pad should have a ruler on it built into it that has the inches and centimeters. That way you can always figure out what centimeter 360 you're on. That wasn't even my idea. I think it was from Just NVC. If you're wondering, Just NVC is actually my favorite mouse reviewer.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an interesting idea. Never really thought about it.
Always know what centimeter 360 you're playing on.
True. I guess that is like the most reliable way of testing it.
With all the DPI variants.
And it wouldn't be like hard to like physically implement onto a mouse pad.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Holy shit, that's the most insightful thing I've ever heard. I will relay it to every single mousepad company that I have contact with.
Awesome.
Let's go.
What do you feel like is missing in the review industry right now? You pretty much watch all of them. What do you think is missing that we don't have?
I think we need more top players, who are pretty good at games to do reviews.
Gamers.
Yeah, talented gamers.
Because
I mean, a lot of reviewers, they have experience like playing games and stuff, but I guess they're more relatable to like the average consumer, closer to like in that sense.
But I feel like it's just the better you are at games, the easier it is to review a mouse. Like if you can just understand like what makes a mouse good and you have like a baseline for that, it just becomes pretty easy to review them. And yeah, I mean, some of the reviewers even put gameplay in their videos, and it's like, why would you do that when this is what your gameplay looks like?
That's another reason why I was a big fan of Just NVC. Just NBC, if you guys don't know, he was a pro TF2 player for Dignitas, and also a pro Shoot Mania player for, I think, Dignitas again. How did Boardzy and Huddled meet?
Okay.
So Boardzy was streaming himself playing Tile Frenzy, and I'm just randomly browsing the Kovacs code. I see this guy named Boardzy TV, and I'm like, oh my gosh, another guy playing Jumbo on stream. I'm gonna go watch him and see if he recognizes me. I go in the chat. I was like, yo, and I realized he's playing 100 Gex in the background. I was like, yo, that's some fire music, bro. This man is gecked out of his mind.
Yeah, maybe me and Huddled will give Quake a try.
Honestly. Or Diabolical again.
Yeah, we will download one of Shoot Mania Andy's recommended games.
As long as he plays Crunker.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
And we will give it a shot on the next stream for sure. It's been fun, but I really have shit to do in the morning.
Yeah, same. I gotta go to. It's like midnight.
Yeah, peace out,
Yeah,
dude. It was
fun.
See you.
See you guys.
All right, thanks for having us on. We'll definitely be on future episodes and everything, though.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
See you.
See you guys. Do you guys have all my socials? Because if so, please tweet out anything that you feel like I missed or that you want to see me go over in the future. Gonna try and do this probably consistently on Saturdays. I think Saturday is gonna be a good day for everybody. And tell me who you want to see me talk to and what about. Might try and get some boomer pros in and have like conversations there. See what their opinions are when they think of mice. So I'm gonna have some new content. The goal is to try and get to consistently be streaming with new mice each, and then at the end drop like probably start with like a first impressions video, then start streaming with the mouse, and then finish with the actual video.